How to get confident? Take a fucking cold plunge. On a more serious note, there's so many things related to confidence that I need to make a bigger video for that to go through all the things. But in this one, this is related to what I went through today and this week, let's say, and last week and recently. And I just wanted to make this one specifically about the cold plunge and how that can affect your confidence. So I actually used to take a cold plunge from Monday to Friday. That was 2 years ago when I was still working at my previous job, and that company had a office it was renovated, and so it was brand new, and they also got a cold pool in the shower sauna spaces. The office had a freaking sauna and it was amazing, and also they had the cold pool in there. The cold pool I was the only one who used it really, which is funny considering how fucking expensive it was. But I set it at 4 degrees Celsius, and it had a filtering system that kept the water clean. And so I went to work to the office from Monday to Friday, usually by bike. And then I took a shower and a cold plunge. And I did that on purpose. I went to the office every day, even though I didn't have to, because it just made me more effective at coding. I really loved coding in the office rather than alone at home. But anyway, I had to quit that job and take on this new one because coding is not something I want to do for work for somebody else. It's something I would love as a hobby, but not as work. So anyway, the point of that little story there is that I was the fucking Iceman in my own circles, social circles. Everyone at work, everyone in my family, everyone in my friend groups, they all knew I was the guy who was like easily taking cold plunges. And I also was running and training at the gym and everything. So one title a friend gave me was like basically Lifestyle Erno. So because I was doing so many things related to improving my lifestyle. You know, I was doing Wim Hof breathing every morning as well at that time. The fun fact is that I was doing so many things at that time because I was struggling in life with something. I was having a really tough time mentally. So I had to combat that with so many things. So actually, in a way, I was so unhappy that I had to do all those things to keep me afloat. But now on to today and on to the recent times and do the confidence and the cold plunges and how all that ties together. I was really stressed this morning. I had a lot of anxiety. It came from work. It came from the fact that this week I have to help my girlfriend with a lot of things and I'm really busy. And I was thinking how I'm going to make these videos while being so busy. My house needs cleaning. There's many things right now that make me stressed and give me anxiety. And also when I fall off some habits or consistency, that makes me feel less confident. And today I reached a point where, because I didn't take a cold plunge last week, that was really eating at me at the back of my mind. It was like I had this feeling of like, fuck man, I haven't taken the cold plunge, oh shit. Like that was also a really big factor. And so today I reached a point that in the middle of my workday I was like, fuck it, I can't take this anymore. So I took off my clothes and I took the camera and the camera stand and I went outside and I took the goddamn cold plunge. And oh boy, was it effective. All my stress, all my anxiety, everything cleaned. It cleared everything. Everything that had accumulated was cleared completely, zeroed out when I went into that cold water. And that is the power of the cold plunge. Now, how does it relate to confidence? One of the reasons why I told the story about my previous work and how I used to take a cold plunge 5 days a week, one of the reasons why I want to mention that is because I created a standard. Like I said, I became the Iceman in my own circles. Iceman being Wim Hof, so the ultimate actual Iceman being Wim Hof. I was the Wim Hof of like my close circles. I created a standard for myself. I set the bar higher and higher and higher for myself. And I created higher and higher standards for myself. I became more and more tough. And that is something that I've been thinking a lot today about. One of the reasons why I lack confidence sometimes these days is because I am not doing all the things I used to do. So when I skip that cold plunge, even though it's only once a week now, I felt like I'm shit because I used to take a cold plunge every day. Now I take one every week. And that made me think that it's a little bit scary when you think about it. Because the same thing is happening with running. Because I ran the marathon last September, I feel like I have to run a marathon this year. If I don't run a marathon this year, I'm a pussy and I'm weak and I'm worse. So as I am improving myself, I'm actually raising the bar. And because I compare myself to myself, if I'm worse than I was, then I'm losing confidence. And I'm feeling like, fuck, I have to be better. And you know what the other thing is that I compare myself to? People on the internet, which I am more aware now, so it's not as bad as it used to be. But it seems to me that I compare myself to my best version of myself. I don't compare myself to the worst version, even though I should, right? I should compare myself to when I was at my weakest and understand that today I'm still infinitely stronger and better than I used to be, let's say 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I would not take a cold plunge ever. I took one cold shower, I think 5 years ago, and I told myself I will never take a cold plunge. I will never take a cold shower again. Because I was like, no, this is not for me. It's too much. But then I started taking them eventually, thanks to my friend inspiring me to start them, the cold showers. And it became something that is now standard for me. But anyway, so I should compare myself to the worst of myself, not to the best of myself. I should get inspired by the best version of myself. Sure. And I do think it's useful to have those standards, but I just realized that oftentimes I feel like shit about myself and I have low self-esteem and low confidence because I'm seeing that, hey, I haven't been as strong recently as I was a year ago. And yeah, one other thing where I look to for comparison is the internet, and I look at people like fucking David Goggins, or I look at some of the world's strongest men benching a shit ton of weight, and I'm like, oh, why am I still so weak in the bench? But I want to hear in the comments, do you have similar problems? Do you have similar problems? Do you hold yourself to a high standard? And once you reach a higher standard, do you look up to the next level? Because that's what seems to happen to me. I want to level up all the time, and then when I'm not leveling up all the time, I feel like I'm not good enough. Which brings me, by the way, to what made me think about making a video about confidence in the first place. I was listening to this song, Self-Doubt Pirate. It's a really good song. I like it. You should check it out. It's from Land and Ammo. And the lyrics say, "You are what you think, so you're not good enough." And I think that is really simple, but really powerful. Because that is exactly what is happening with me right now. I am what I think, so I'm not good enough. It's not that I'm not good enough. I'm plenty good enough. I've leveled up in every fucking area of my life. Literally every area of my life I've leveled up massively in the past 5 years. I've gone so fucking far in my life in 5 years that it's ridiculous. But as long as I think I'm not good enough, that's what I am, not good enough. But if I realize that actually I'm doing really fucking well in so many areas of life, if I remember, if I decide and remember to think that I'm good enough, that I'm actually really fucking good, then I'm gonna be really fucking good and I'm gonna continue to grow. I think I want to make one tiny little point in this video still. As you see in the beginning of this video, I'm taking the cold plunge. I look at my body here and I'm like, oh fuck, I look so fat. And that's a funny thing recently, that I've been gaining weight on purpose because I want to become stronger, because I'm gonna buy a squat rack and a bench for bench pressing into my home gym this summer. And I want to bulk up a little bit to be strong and become even stronger and reach new levels and make new personal records in the bench press and the squats and the deadlifts and everything. So I'm actually eating a lot, especially more protein than ever. And that obviously makes me gain weight. But because I used to be so lean, that's also a standard for myself. That's also something I'm used to, like, oh, but I was leaner. So now it's like I'm trying to be all these things at the same time. Like, I want to be lean and I want to run a marathon, but I also want to be stronger than ever. And I think it's cool to try to get all those things, because then I'm going to be really fucking badass if I manage all those things eventually. Like, imagine having really visible abs and being really ripped and shredded, but still being really strong and being able to run a marathon. That would be amazingly badass. But sometimes I think maybe I should be a bit more realistic and raise the bar for something, but not keep that fucking bar so high for every single thing and area in my life, because I don't think I'm gonna be in a good place mentally if I keep trying to do that. I think I need to understand. I have a lot to learn in this aspect. I have a lot to learn about confidence and self-esteem still, and I will keep everyone on this channel updated. You will see how I grow, you will see how I handle these things, you will see in which direction I grow. So if you're interested in that, then feel free to subscribe, and I am sure that I will have many good tips in the future to share to people, because like I said, in the past 5 years, I have leveled up massively, and I still have lived, I have lived my life. Because like I've said in the previous videos, I want to make self-improvement a bit more mainstream if it's possible. Because I want people to know that you can actually live your life and still level up like mad. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching as always, and have a blessed week. Bye bye.